Hi, here's a tricky C programming question that confuses even experienced programmers. Look at this code and get the output before I explain it. This particular statement is basically an array of pointers. An array of how many elements? The number of elements what you have in this, and here we can observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is basically an array of 8 elements where each element is a pointer. Now, the next statements, you're trying to apply the size of operator, trying to find out what is size of words of 0, words of 1, words of 2, and here are some of the options here. When you look at these options, the first thing it could be, it might be giving you the length of this including the null or excluding the null. If you think excluding the null, that will be 6, this will be 7, and this will be 2. But if you consider this as including the null character, this could be 7, this could be 8, and this could be 3. Right? If you consider, it's going to give me the number of characters in this, the number of characters in this, number of characters in this, including the null, it will be 783. If you consider that as not including the null, it will be 672. Now we also have these other options like 888 and 777. So in order to understand this better, let us try to visualize this and try to understand how this is actually stored. This particular statement words, okay, array, this one basically creates an array of 8 elements, wherein each element is an array character pointer. Each element is in this is basically a character pointer. This is called as words. Okay. Now you have words of 0, words of 1, we have words of 2. Now, do these basically hold the strings like cranes and varsity? The answer is no. The cranes, varsity, everything is basically stored in different blocks. Here is one block where the cranes will be stored, another block varsity is stored, the another block is stored, the other block A is stored, and the same way the other okay characters are stored. Now the address of this particular thing is stored here. Observe the addresses of this will be stored here. Okay, right. Now, if you carefully observe, the length of this particular blocks are different. Whereas if you look at this particular blocks, each of this block is basically a pointer. And if they are pointers, as we know that all the pointers occupy same size, irrespective of it is basically holding the address of a string literal, which is 10 characters or 20 characters or 100 characters. So this particular one basically gives me the size, this particular size, which is 8 bytes, this size, which is 8 bytes, and this size, which is 8 bytes. Remember, it's 8 bytes on a 64-bit machine. Got it? It does not give me the size of this section. Let us try to compile this and try to understand this. Now let me try to compile this. GCC, the file name, and then trying to run this. And you can just observe I got it as 8 and 8. If you want to quickly visualize it through a Python tutor, I can just show you here. Here's the same code. I'm trying to visualize this. And here you can just see words is an array of 8 elements. Each element is a pointer character. If you want to have a look at the addresses, you can have a look at the addresses. And if you just observe this B98 to A0 in hexadecimal, it's a difference of 8, A0 to A8, A8 to B0, B0 to B8. So if you observe the differences, basically 8 bytes, right? And then what will be stored here on execution of this particular line, line number 6. Now each of the strings, okay, will be created and then this pointers point to that. Let me just go to the next step. Please to observe, right? This pointer is pointing to a block here, right? And then this particular pointer is pointing to this particular block here, right? The size of this particular blocks are different. Like this is 7, this is 8, this is 3, this is 2, this is again 8, this is 10, and this is 9, right? But when you apply the size of operator, it is giving me the size of this, it's giving me the size of this, not the size of those blocks. That is the reason why it was basically giving me as 8, 8, and 8. Observed? In case if you wanted to know what is the length of this particular string, then we can basically use string length here. Instead of size of operator, we can just use strlen, same way here and here. And then since you're using string length, we need to include string.h. And this will basically give me the length, but the length does not include the null character. So it will be 6, 7, and 2. Clear? Right. I hope the concept is clear. We are very much clear with respect to the array of pointers and what happens if you apply the size of operator on a pointer. Fine. Thank you.